Chapter 15, The Triumph of Global Corporatism, provides us with context regarding capitalist interests in public education. Evolving from a focus on career education in the 1970s on up to the current school privatization movement, corporations have consistently had a vested interest in education. Whether it's developing employees for the workforce, initiating partnerships with schools to advertise and sell their products, or the billion-dollar industry that is educational testing, publishing, and software. It must also be noted beforehand that Chapter 15 goes more in depth regarding the various political platforms of the time that influenced educational policy. Contextual examples range from the busing debate of the 70s, the separation between church and state, and the rise and fall of environmental education. For the purposes of this presentation, I will focus on the themes of career education, accountability, standardization, students as consumers, and the ongoing race to maintain global competitiveness. In 1968, Richard Nixon was elected on a platform to restore law and order on college campuses in response to the unrest brought on by the civil rights movement in the Vietnam War. To help with what was considered disenchantment among the youth, Nixon's Commissioner of Education advocated for career education as a solution. In addition, the accountability movement gained traction in the 70s as a result of Leon Lessinger's book, Every Kid a Winner: Accountability in Education, which stressed that experts should be making educational decisions that impact schools. However, Lessinger acknowledged the importance of public opinion and felt the best way to help keep the public informed was to share testing results from standardized tests. This way, the community could critique schools in order to boost overall improvement. This led to increased testing and a shift towards behaviorism and teaching to standards, or teaching to the test, which is commonly attributed to standardized testing. With a continued focus on career readiness, A Nation at Risk was published in 1983 criticizing public schools for America's lag in technological advances and productivity rates. In addition, the 1983 Action for Excellence report advocated for closer relationships between American businesses and schools. In 1991, Goals 2000 was developed by the Bush administration to develop national education goals, and again restated an emphasis on the ability of U.S. companies to compete in international markets. In 1994, President Clinton signed the Goals 2000 Educate America Act, which again linked education to the needs of big business. Additionally, throughout the 1990s, many states began to adopt school choice plans. With support from both political parties, school choice, privatization, and charter schools offered a return to traditional values such as those supported by the religious right, and also liberal values such as providing schools that served the interest of underrepresented groups. Essentially, during the Reagan, Bush, and Clinton eras, education was meant to improve the United States' competitiveness on the global stage by any means possible. In 1993, the Scottsdale Initiative was adopted and home economics was rebranded Family and Consumer Sciences. An emphasis was placed on students as future consumers. This resulted in adjustments to the curriculum and academic language. In addition, corporations took advantage of other economic opportunities and developed partnerships with schools to sell and advertise products on school campuses. Corporations also sponsored branded educational programs and utilized product placement in curriculums and testing materials. In 2000, the U.S. General Accounting Office released a report stating that both educators and corporate managers are attending conferences to learn how to increase revenue from in-school marketing. In 2001, Congress reauthorized Title I of the 1965 Elementary and Secondary Education Act and rebranded it as No Child Left Behind. Throughout the early 2000s, No Child Left Behind mandated that states create uniform standards and fulfill increased testing accountability to ensure schools were meeting benchmarks. In 2009, the Obama administration enacted Race to the Top, which again highlighted a need for standards and assessments focused on career readiness and the ability to maintain accountability by creating data systems to measure growth and inform stakeholders. In 2010, in a response to the need for national standards, the Common Core State Standards were adopted by the National Governors Association. The trend of standardization prompted by career education, school choice, and testing and accountability has continued with the current administration's agenda of privatization. If schools are considered failing, they are then primed for takeover by private or charter school ventures. Educational publishers continue to make money off of excessive testing materials and the curriculum that aligns with said tests. Students are bombarded with advertisements and products daily while dining in the cafeteria or walking the halls. We seem to be stuck in a cycle prompted by a need for economic gain versus that of knowledge and understanding. I am deeply concerned about the next economic interest around the corner and how it will affect the way we learn and live.